So let's do one other little thing here now, right? I want to talk about judgment. Okay? So we asked this earlier on. Is there anybody in the room now that's non-judgmental? Nobody. Right? Is there anybody in the room judgmental? Everybody would see them. Do you know what makes you judgmental?
Seeing through the wrong eyes, the wrong being in the
No,
wrong eyes.
something more practical.
Thinking we're always right, the ego.
Separate.
That's an effect.
Not
Minimization.
Steve?
That's an effect.
You see yourself
You just
separate.
made the wrong decision.
Yeah. The way this works, just fits me a wee minute now, darling. Right? Say we're in a relationship. Okay? And I'm doing the course and Alicia's not doing the course. Right? And this works for every single situation and every relationship. Remember I was saying now that I'm centered. I'm not seeking anything outside me. Do you know when Jesus says, lead us not into temptation? Do you know what that really means? Okay? Lead us not to seek outside ourselves. Now, when I'm here in the center, in the moment, in the now, I'm at one with God. And I can feel that. Because there's nothing outside of me that I want. So let's say, for example, keep this dance now. This is me. All right? Remember at the beginning of the course, Jesus says the kingdom of heaven is within you?
Yes.
He says at the end of the course, the kingdom of heaven is you. So here I am, not seeking outside myself for anything. And I am the kingdom of heaven. All of a sudden, right, I'm in a relationship with Elish and I want something from her. I'm seeking something from her. I have an expectation, let's say, or need or desire. The moment I have that thought, I move here. Now I'm outside myself. I have just activated the separation. Now judgment comes into play. Because I need judgment. Why do I need judgment? Because there's something I expect from her and I need judgment to narrow down exactly what I think I need. So it's not that judgment actually, is something that I haven't chosen. I have chosen to seek outside myself. Now judgment is an effect of that. Okay? The problem with it then is, right, when you take one little judgment, you take the whole lot. All of a sudden you'll have all of these judgmental thoughts all the time. And this is what people are battling with them. They're still seeking outside themselves. And they're trying to stop these judgmental thoughts. Let's use another one. Okay? I'm back. No separation between me and God. I'm at one with God. All of a sudden again, I want something. Elish, again, could be any one of my family, friends, lover, whatever, right? And I'm seeking something from her again. Usually love, could be emotional support, it could be psychological. I'm not talking about, I want you to give me a cigarette or anything like that. I'm not talking about material. I'm talking about the mind level. So again, now I step outside myself because I've been seeking for something. All of a sudden now, this wow of fear surrounds me. Why? I chose to separate from God. Okay, what is the effects?
Fear.
Guilt and fear.
Okay, so how do you have them in your life without seeking it?
In 7 years, I have never experienced 1 second of fear. Why?
You stayed in your center.
I have never moved outside myself. And this is where fear now becomes a positive. The ego is not your enemy, so stop fighting with your ego. Okay? The ego can be your best friend because it's talking to you all the time. Why? I step out, fear comes in. What's the first thing I should do? Step back. I recognize I have made an error. Remember what Jesus says? Choose again, brother. Right throughout the whole course, choose again. What I'm doing here is bringing this into a simple, practical way of you understanding. If you're going to seek outside yourself, you activate the separation all over again.
If I have to make a speech to 100 people, I start to feel very anxious.
You are seeking something. You're seeking understanding. You're seeking maybe, hope these people don't judge me. You're seeking something from outside them. And this is what people do in teachings. You know, is, right, oh God, these people are going to judge me. They're going to judge me because you're stepping outside now because you want something off them.
So you step back in.
You step back in and you recognize, no, I'm going to stay in my center. Okay, I'm going to be, there's nothing here, because it's an image that you're trying to uphold. The ego has an image of itself. And remember the persona. So you activate the persona. Now you're saying, I want people to like me. I want to give a really good speech. You know, I want to be the best speaker. I want to be the best teacher of A Course in Miracles in the world. Do you know? And that's what happens. You're actually activating the separation. And now, fear, anxiousness, irritation, all of these things comes up. Okay? So, what happens? How do we overcome this? First of all, recognize I have stepped outside myself. Why? Because fear, the judgmental mind, guilt, shame, anything negative will tell you. So now the ego is a positive for you, because it's saying, it's like when you go through a red light. Okay? You hear the siren behind you, and you go, ah! You look at all the negatives. That red light is there to what? Warn you and save your life. You see, the whole world is built upon cause and effects. There are laws here. Okay? And we have to learn to know what these laws are and live these laws. Okay? And the ego is a set of laws here. We're in the ego thought system. So don't be looking at the ego as a negative. Too many people are fighting with their egos. What are they doing? They're stepping outside themselves. They're seeking for things in the world. They have all of this fear, and then they're saying, Jesus, take this fear away from me. But they want to stay separate. Impossible. It can't happen. Once you step outside yourself, you're into the separation, and you're saying, God, I want something other than you. When we do this with love, when I say, I really am in love with you and I want you to love me, I'm stepping out and I'm saying, the love that God has for me is not enough. So this is why very few people in the world are experiencing the love of God. Because everybody is outside themselves. All you have to do is step back. Recognize you're outside yourself. Choose to go back within yourself by dropping whatever you were seeking for, and hand over that expectation, that need, that demand. That's how simple. Once you start doing this, once you start stepping back, this is you becoming non-judgmental. So you're not going to do all of this immediately. All right? You're going to be like Lanigan's ball. I stepped out, she stepped in. All right? So this is the process. You're going to be judgmental. You're going to recognize, become non-judgmental. Judgmental, non-judgmental. Then one day, when you have dropped all of your attachments, yeah? Now you're seeking nothing outside yourself. What happens next? The third step. Now you're without judgment. Their ego has no influence, no power over you. I said in one of the early videos, I think it was February last year, leave the ego alone, and the ego will leave you alone. That is what I meant. Okay? I don't want anything from the ego. I want nothing from outside myself. So I'm leaving the ego thought system be, and the ego leaves me alone. No problem. I don't have any problem. So.
But the ego's inside you.
Huh?
But the ego's not outside, it's inside.
Of course it is. Yeah. But also, what's inside me is my one mind, my right mind.
Yeah.
So even the mind is split. So all of this takes place in the mind. When I say I'm stepping outside myself, I'm doing it at the mind level first. Okay? So it's at the mind level that this works.
These are things at an emotional level.
Doesn't matter. It could be love, it could be emotional, it could be psychological.
Yeah.
All at the mind level.
Yeah.
At the mind level. Because all your emotions come from thoughts. Okay? All your thoughts come from a mind. So it can be the ego mind. And the ego mind, as long as you're remaining attached to it, it's going to have demands, expectations. The ego's nothing at the end of the day, so it needs all its attachments to make it something. This is why the ego is nothing without all of the attachments. And that includes people, relationships, everything.
Do you believe God is in everybody?
Everybody, of course. God's in me, God's in you.
Yeah.
I did a thing on Facebook, a little photograph, and I says, every person you meet, God is in them. What you see in them, what you think of them, you think of God. How you see them, you see God. And what you say to them, you say to God. Okay? And that's the way I live my life. And it's very easy to turn around then, because you don't see your projections anymore, because you're not outside yourself.
So at age see you as distant.
Sorry?
Will Aileen see you as being distant if you're?
She will probably,
Your partner, will she see you as distant?
she is going to be looking at this from the eagle's perspective. Okay? And she's going to want me to set her up in a special relationship. So she's going to crave specialness of me. Okay? Do I give her specialness? Do I give her specialness?
No,
Yes.
whether you do or not.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why do I give her specialness?
Recognise that's what she, when a brother asks you to do something outrageous.
Yes, because it's now, and specialness only becomes a problem when it's done unconsciously. Because I know now, all right, in my mind, okay, that Eilish is not different from everybody else, but at this level, this is what she needs. So that's where you're very clever, Monica, where you're saying when a brother asks you to do something outrageous, you do it. It doesn't matter whether I make her feel special or not. It really doesn't matter. So what I would, if I denied her specialness, right, I'm coming from my ego. So it doesn't really matter. As long as you're aware that you're giving specialness, then it doesn't matter whether you give it or not. It's like children. I had a guy up in Belfast in the workshop, and he says, I love my little nephew. And he said, you know, or grandson. And he says, my grandfather made me feel very special when I was young. And he says, I want to do the same now. And I says, no problem. As long as you're aware that it's specialness that you're given to her. You see,
Michael, is it not in your being that she feels special?
of course,
You're not doing
everybody's special.
it. But in your being, she's feeling what she wants.
Yes.
Like your being.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Okay, so this is the truth about relationships. All right, is there any questions? I have one more topic I want to do after this.
A new name for the ego is the trapper.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, turn off this projection onto the ego that it's evil, that it's to blame for everything. See the ego now as an ally, and I'm going to show you why now that the ego is an ally. All right, thank you very much. We have everybody. Alright, how do we fix for time? Right. Right, what I want to do now is I talked about a little bit about this in the teacher's course, and have been asked by one who walks in front of me to make this public now, and I know I'm going to have a lot of the intellectuals and of course miracles throughout the world coming down on me like a ton of bricks for this one. Okay, so just to get for Brian and Liz and Aaron, okay, have you ever seen this before? This is, you've seen this?
Yeah, someone
You've seen it, Liz?
No.
Okay, this is what the separation is. Okay, this is where we are here, okay, in the world. And this is where heaven is. Most people think that when we leave the body, we go here. But we don't. Okay, we go to this place called the spiritual universe. And here we go in and we slightly waken up when we go in here if we're asleep. We write a new script and we choose another body and we come back in here. And this is what's